Hi, welcome to Free Spirit and welcome to How to Learn Tarot Easy by Heart. And I mean that quite literally, how to learn tarot easy by heart. And what I mean by that by heart is because the easiest way to learn tarot, I mean by heart, you know, that typically means by memory, but by heart is when you've taken things to heart and you actually have feeling to it. Like when you experience something in life and it sinks into your heart, you will remember it. So one of my very key tips, and I have a whole bunch of spirit tips when it comes to learning tarot, but the number one thing that I always say is learn the tarot meanings by heart. And what I literally mean by heart, by feel every card and remember you've lived every card in the tarot. So whenever I get comments about tarot, I love to do a little tip reading, a tip message, tip tutorial, and put in some more tips that you could really pick up the tarot and not be intimidated whatsoever. I know there's 78 cards, but you've lived every card in the tarot. It is very, very simple to learn the tarot meanings and get started, and 90% of it is just getting started. So the quickest way that you can learn the meanings by any deck you resonate with, I would always say start off with a classic Rider-Waite-Smith. I've personally just chose the Radiant Wise Spirit for this tip meaning because if you're watching this, you are a Radiant Wise Spirit. And the Fool here is going on a journey, just like we are in this video. And we're going to find out and learn how you can learn the tarot meanings by heart so that it quickly comes to you and you have a real memory of it, because you've literally taken it to heart. I know it's like a play on words, but it really is the truth. Now, you could buy any deck, and then you could just sit with the guidebook and just go over the meanings and look at the card and take it to heart. That's one thing. I'm gonna show you a little bit of just an overview. If you're brand new to tarot, you can buy any card deck. You open it up, it will have a booklet that will have all the meanings. Now, if you're brand new, what I would do is sit with the guidebook like a paperback, and they give you spreads in here, but literally go card by card and read every single thing. Ace of Wands, what does that mean? And look at the card. But let's get into the cards themselves, okay? And take each message by heart. But you've lived every card in the tarot, but let me show you an overview of what the cards are even, okay? Even in the deck. You're gonna get 78 cards. Now, 22 of them, 0 to 21, are called the major arcanas. And why are they called major arcanas? They're like major themes. What I like to think of it is like the actual divine theme that's going on in your life. So, and then the rest are the 4 suits. So the rest of the cards, the 56 cards, you're going to have the cups, which is emotions. It equates with the element of water, and it is the emotions. And I also believe it equates with summer. And what you'll find in every suit, it goes from ace, ones, all the way to the 10. And then it will have the 4 court cards where you have a page, a knight, a queen, and a king. Very similar to a playing deck. So you're going to have, here we have the cups, which is the emotions, the feelings, everything, and it equates with water. So you have that. Then you're going to have the pentacles, the same thing, 0 to 10. Then the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. And so this is all pentacles. This is earthly money, abundance, potential, and it resonates with earth. The pentacles are earthly things that are going on, and it's usually about work, money, finances, your needs being met in the physical, and things like that. Now we have the wands. Again, it will go ace to 10. And then you have the court cards, the page, the knight, the queen, the king, very much like the playing decks, card decks that you use. The wands are all about passion, projects, inspiration, and it equates with fire. And quite literally, that's what it feels like you're fired up, right? So whatever, you know, you've lived every card. Let me put the majors here. We're gonna go through everything. But it's very easy to know that you've lived every card. Here are the swords, ace again through 10. And then you're going to have the page, the queen, and where is that king? The king is somewhere here. Here's the king. And now the swords are equivalent, the element to air. And this is all about knowledge, wisdom, ideas, thoughts, the mind. And so that is equivalent to air. So when you have the minor arcana is up here. This is your everyday matters, right? The details, what's going on in the heart space, what's going on with relationships, the emotions, what's going on earth, in your projects, in your work, in your finances, your money, what's going on with your passion, your projects, again, also with work, but the fire, your drive, what's going on when it comes to that. And here we have the thoughts, what's going on in the mindset. So ideas, inspiration, and also just clarity sometimes also. It's a tribute to the air. So you've lived every card here, and these are the majors. So now, to learn the tarot by heart, we're going to quite literally, we'll go quickly through the meanings, and at the end we'll do a bonus reading so you could see how you can do a reading. But here, when you have the Fool, what is he doing really? When you learn the description, it's like he's going, it's a new beginnings. It's the innocence of starting afresh and everything else. And yes, there are quite symbols throughout the card, but even just knowing what a Fool at 0 it means, and you're at this stage, these cards, once you hit the World, it starts again at the Fool. Like this is a circle. It goes around and around. This does not mean like you're a child just sitting off. At any moment in your life, you could quite literally feel like a fool. For example, life experiences, if, say you got fired from your job and now you have to set off again to find a new job, or a relationship has ended and you're sitting out again. You know, all of these things, take it to heart what it feels like to be a fool in your life at times, where you're starting afresh, anew, and you have to go by faith, you have to trust, and you're just following where it takes you. And you're packing lightly, and there's an innocence here, and you're just taking those steps, and you're not quite sure where it's leading, but you have faith, you have the sun behind you. You just feel inspired, and you're going on a new beginning, a new start. And it's full of faith and hope. And the next card you'll have is the Magician, where you're now manifesting, right? So he's reaching up to the heavens. He's pointing down to the ground. He has all the tools in front of him in his toolbox. So he has, it's almost like intelligence, the abundance, the cups. He has all the tools. All the tools of the minors in front of him to manifest and bring things into the physical. So what does that feel like when you're literally the magician in your life and you're manifesting? You're in the grand theme is that you're a manifester. You have the potential to manifest a lot right now, and really tapped in. You could feel guided, and you're sitting and you're actually tapped into the infinite, and you're manifesting in the physical. And here we have the High Priestess, who is all about intuition, higher knowing, wisdom. She has the Book of Knowledge here, the High Priestess. So when you read the couple of lines in the book, along with the major arcanas, but what does that feel like when you're tapped in and you have this inner knowing, and you're tapped in and you're guided, and all of this? So I always say, take it to heart. The Empress, she's all about creativity and birth, and you'll get that in all the descriptions. But what does that feel like in your heart when you are in creative mode, when you're giving birth to new things in your life? And when this comes up in a reading, it means that your creativity is heightened, your ability to give birth to things in your life are heightened. You know, just going through this really quickly, when you read the little descriptions, take it to heart is what I mean. The Emperor, who's in control, right? He's in control of situations, bringing order to situations. The Hierophant, the search for higher truth and meaning. It could also be that you're feeling very tapped in and having divine guidance yourself. But this is all about that, and traditions, and the Lovers. Sometimes this can mean a choice. This is very much the Lover's card, relationship cards. And also it could be of choices and decisions that you have to make. The Chariot, moving forward, aligned action. What does that feel like when you're taking aligned movement in your life? The Strength card, the strength, when you're tapped in and there's a strength, but through kindness and compassion, and through your life when it calls for more strength in your life to show up in that way. The Hermit, when you go inside for the answers, what does that feel like? What I'm saying is, besides reading the description, it's always taking it to heart. To learn the meanings by heart, because you've lived it. The Wheel of Fortune, when finally it feels like the cycle has turned in your favor, you know, the wheel of destiny almost going, and justice. We all know what it feels like to feel a sense of justice coming through, fairness in decisions, and pure justice coming through in your life. The Hangman, when he's paused here, but he's getting higher illumination, what that literally feels like, where you're actually getting that illumination from within, from a different perspective. Death, the transformation. You see the sun coming up here. Death is never what people think it is. I love getting the death. It's transformative. And then what does it feel like when something's ending in your life, but then it's given rise to a new day, a new start, a transformation of some kind. Temperance, that beautiful balance of balancing everything. And look at her, this is wide open and she's balancing everything. And this balance coming in here, and temperance, of it could be even of your emotions, or just feeling this new harmony and balance coming in. What does that feel like? And also to feel so tucked in that you can bring that in and temper your emotions. You see how she's, well, you could bring in whatever you want. The Devil, when you're falsely tied to things that don't serve you, it's like a false attachment that's definitely not serving you anymore. The Devil, what does that feel like when you have those in your life? Things to people, situations. The Tower, the transformation of things not in your control, but it could definitely be a change and transformation, sudden transformation with the Bolt. What does that feel like when all of a sudden something just comes in and swoops in and changes your life abruptly? You have the Star of the hope and the healing, and you also being a part of that hope and the healing, and wishes coming true, and the stars are aligning for you. The Moon, where you're going within and a lot of things are being revealed to you. Things are not fully illuminated, but hidden feelings could come out, and you're feeling very sensitive and you're very intuitive. The Sun, when it feels like it's shining on your efforts, empowering you. Life is good and wonderful, but what does that feel like? Take it to heart, like what each card, the Judgment, when you're rising up again, it feels like a new life, a new resurrection. That it's just beautiful. And here we have the World, where it could feel like a completion, a divine completion, where you're going to start again on a new journey. But those are the major arcanas. But besides knowing the cards and how it comes out in a reading, you've lived every card. These are the major themes. But it's like, what does that feel like? Like, take it to heart, right? When you go into the Cups, the emotions, the Ace of Cups, what does that feel like when it's just like a new, sudden, emotional experience or relationship? It's a new upliftment in spirit, right, coming in here. In Ace of Cups, where it's just your heart's overflowing. Like, what does that mean? It like almost came from the divine to uplift you in some way. So it could be anything new, emotional relationship. It could be a new project, something that is just, your heart is overflowing. So it's almost like whatever definition they give, like if I went into the Ace of Cups, just so you know, I mean, it's like, add what does it mean? What does it feel like in your heart when you're in that state? You know, what does that feel like to you? Every card, you've been at some position and will be over and over again. You know what that feels like? So that's, you know, bringing your heart to, taking it to heart is like everything, because then in the reading, your heart is in the reading, and that's where you're doing your reading from anyway. Like, you're tapped in with your third eye and your crown, but it's actually you're going through your heart. And also, you know, as I do tips and I'm showing you ways to do things, or little tips, or you watch other readers, you know that you're going to read however your channel is, like whatever you're like, because just like you speak differently than everybody else, you're going to read cards differently. But the Ace of Cups, this is attraction, hearts, recognition, this one was, I'm giving you the definition in here. A mysterious glowing hand holds a cup, overflows. They give you all the symbols. It's an outpouring. This is what they're saying, a beginning of love, a heart opener. So you might just get like keywords from a guidebook, but it's like, what does that feel like, right? Some guidebooks are better than others. You know, you go through each of these cards and you have to know, you know what it feels like. What does it feel like when you have spilt cups in your life, when things have not worked out, where you have lost, and you're just focused on what's spilt and not working, and there are 2 cups behind you. You're encouraged to move on. But what does that feel like? You know, there's like, what does it feel like when you're looking at all these options and choices, and it could be very overwhelming. You have all these choices in your life. And what does it feel like when you have all these cups fulfilled, but yet you're still being encouraged to move on for more fulfillment and leave some things behind and go further for more fulfillment? And it's not quite illuminated, but there's something within you that's pushing you to go forward, to find more. What does it feel like to be fully satisfied with your heart's fulfillment, you know? What does it feel like? What does it feel like when you have reached all this satisfaction? Pages and court cards. So in whatever deck, the page usually is bringing some news in. So this could be a messenger of new love, a new fulfillment here for you. Knight of Cups, you're moving forward on your cups. You're carrying your heart forward on all the things that you're doing. That's how I read these cards. Queen of Cups, that you are so in your element of emotions. And the King also is so full of love and heart with all that he's doing. And you are the court cards at some point. You are the embodiment of a court card. That's how I read it, besides the page who is bringing in the news, but how I read the cards. And everybody reads them a little differently. So these are just my tips, and you can learn as you go. And then the court cards are the embodiment of that suit. So if it comes out, it's either you or someone close to you that's embodying that element in your life. But every card here you've lived. So if you go to the Pentacles, what does it feel like where something is coming in, a seed of potential? Could be a new job, a new opportunity, that it just feels like it's coming divinely into your life. That's the Ace of Pentacles, right? And then you have the 2, where what now your balancing act. I mean, you can also get a lot from the cards itself, but you've also lived this. Like, what does it feel like when you have 2 things that you're balancing out? What does it feel like when you're collaborating, working together? 3 of Pentacles, coming together with other people. You've been in that mode all your life in places, holding on tightly to your money. There could be issues where you're holding on here or feeling cast out from what you need or want in the physical. Here we have generosity, right? Giving and sharing with others. And it depicts in the card, but say, for example, 7 of Pentacles, like you've obviously planted. He's looking, where's my rewards? And what else do you get in that state? Like, if there's been many times in your life that you've planted things and it's taking forever to bloom, right? It doesn't go poof overnight. So what else can you add to that card? It's like, if you take it to heart, what does that feel like when you've planted, done so much hard work, but there's no rewards yet? There's no buds left coming up yet. There are no flowers here. There's no fruits for your labors here, okay? What do you feel? You need more patience, right? You need, you could add, what is it when you take it to heart? Like, if you are talking to yourself and you're in that state, what can you say to yourself? You've done all this hard work. You're waiting for the results. Have some more patience. Don't worry. Like, it's going to keep going. It's going to bud or whatever it is. But you can add more because you've been in that state from your heart space. You've been in that space. Like, feel the card. What does that feel like? You're looking at that bush. I've worked so hard. Where are my results? Here, being hard at work, where you're literally just focused on what you're doing in your work. What does it feel like when it's actually successful and you've done it like on your own, listening to your intuition and growing your abundance? My voice is coming out, but you have been this Knight of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles, when it's just rewards coming in here, happiness in the home, abundance, full abundant life. The court cards, so Page of Pentacles, I always think something is coming in, a bringer of a new opportunity to you. The court cards back here, the Knight, you're moving on the things in the physical. Here is the Queen. She's very nurturing, grounded. Pentacles are part of the earth. So if it's embodiment of the King and Queen, what is an earthly Queen is very nurturing, right? So that's how you can add adjectives. What does it feel like to be the Queen of Pentacles? Where you're nurturing, grounded, probably. You're focused on the physical and you're in your power. The Queen is in her power to get things done in the physical. The King also, wow, he's so in his power, right? In the physical, he knows exactly what to do. He has all the resources. So you're thinking about, you know, earthly abundance, Pentacles. Then when you get into the Wands, what does it feel like to have new inspiration come in? What does it literally feel like? Like you've just been handed a brilliant idea and you're fired up to do it. That's the inspiration. The Two, to take it farther, to have the world in your hands and you're looking out there. How can you expand? How can you bring more ships in with what your ideas are about? The Four, when it's working, it's stability, it's happiness in the home. So whatever they're saying, if they're, it looks like conflicts. You've had conflicts when you're trying to get things done, but you're conflicting with other people. Here is success. What does it feel like to be successful with what you're doing? So it's like taking it to heart. What does it feel like to stand up to yourself if other things are coming out? You're standing up for yourself. Swift movement, communications. So you'll get it, but what does it feel like? What does it feel like to be burdened, right? When you have so much to do, you're overworked. Back to the pages, and what does it feel like when something new's coming in here at the night? You're really moving forward passionately, fully inspired in your fire in the physical. The Queen, where you're just passionate, you know what to do, you can get everything done, you're multitasking, you're just so passionate and driven. The King, who is just so passionate and driven and filled with fire, getting things done. The embodiment of the Wands, you know, very much when I get the court cards. So, but what does it feel like? You take it to heart. It brings so much more. This, when you get a sudden revelation, idea, clarity on something, the Ace of Swords, right? It's equivalent to the air, but this is the new clarity, the new idea, the new brilliant idea, the thoughts. Here, two conflicting ideas or thoughts, right? What does it feel like? You can't make a decision, but we've lived it over and over. So you know what that feels like? That's, of course, heartbreak through the heart. So you know what that feels like many a time. To rest, rejuve, recharge. You've been there a lot. Here, where there's been battles and no one has clearly won. Here, moving to smoother waters. What does that feel like right now? It does. Where things are sneaky, shady, not all apparent. Somebody might be putting one past you. And here, where it's conflicted, you've actually built conflicting ideas and thoughts around where it's almost like a prison you're all tied up that you can free yourself from. Another thing here is also anxiety and repeating thoughts that are keeping you up at night. What we all know what that feels like. And when things are finally are just over and done, then we have that again, that page where it could bring new ideas, flashes of insight just coming in there for you to do things with. That's how I read the page cards. And the night, you're just moving forward brilliantly, confidently, charging in there with the brilliance, the clarity, and just going very swiftly also, I would say. And here, the Queen of Swords with this clarity that there is like nothing getting past her. She's brilliant. She knows exactly what to do. Very truthful, integrity, I always think of as well. And, you know, whatever you've been in that state and embodying the King of Swords, where you're just brilliant also. The wisdom, the knowledge, the clarity. And then the embodiment of the swords, which is air. So what I'm saying is it looks like 78 cards that are a lot. It really isn't. These are the major themes, major arcana. These are the details of your life that come in, and you've lived every card. So besides going through the cards or reading a couple of words in a guidebook, take the meanings to heart. Like, learn tarot easy by heart. Like, when you learn it by heart, by feeling the card, and you realize you've been there, and you'll be there again many, many, many times over. When it comes out in a reading, you know it by heart. You literally know it by heart. So let's do a reading. Like, let's do a sample reading of, say, there are lots of also additional spirit tips when it comes to tarot card readings in my playlist, spirit tips. I give tips on how you can test your tarot readings for accuracy, how can you learn the meanings easy, things like that. But let's just get a sample reading right now. Like, what are the messages that would be helpful right now for us to know or keep in our minds and hearts? I'll show you how to read the cards. Let's do a quick little reading, and you can see how you read it the relationship of the cards next to each other. And I'll just give you a quick reading. Let's say, well, let's just do, what is this? Oh, yeah, okay, so we're doing a balancing act here. There are things to balance out. We're probably multitasking a lot, right? There are 2 or more things in the physical that we're multitasking and trying to get done. And so probably we're going to need to really keep our balance. Yes, okay. Multitasking, getting a lot done. We have the 9 of Wands. So this is when you've done a lot and you're sitting there being protective, stand up for what you believe is right also with what you're doing in the physical. The Wands is always about work and projects and things that you've accomplished. So this could be a time where you're really protective and you're standing up for what you're doing in the physical, and there's a lot to get done. And here are even new things, Page of Pentacles. So there's going to be new opportunities coming in here, even in the physical, for you probably to get to work on. So here there's a lot to balance out. There's a lot that you're standing up for in your life with what you're doing, and the Page is bringing more things in the physical for you to work on, and be the Emperor. So the advice, this is Major Arcana. So these are the details of the life where a lot was pentacle oriented, where you're probably balancing, getting a lot done, multitasking. Definitely with your projects and your work and your everything going on, you're standing up and being protective almost of what you've worked on so far, what you've actually, the 9 of Wands, you've really worked hard on a lot of things, and you're standing up for it. And here there's actually new things coming in the physical for you, and what do they want you to do with it? This is Major Arcana. So the Emperor, embody the Emperor, where you're structured, you're orderly, you're putting things in order, you're in your strength, your power, control. So this is what they want you to almost embody as the Major Arcana, where it will serve you well if you're like the Emperor in your life, where you're taking control of things. So say, for example, if you're balancing a lot, multitasking a lot, take control of the situations that you can take control of. If you're standing up for yourself in certain situations, yes, be strong and in your power and control and everything else. And with these new things coming in the physical, remain in this Emperor power, because you're going to have to put some order and be in control of the things, the new things that are coming in your life. So embody that Emperor. Let's see if we can get some additional, and you can add to that. This is a quick meaning, but whatever it brings up for you intuitively and in your heart, from living that card over and over, you can bring to that situation. Yeah, oh my gosh. So they're gonna say, now we have, oh my gosh, look. So there have been battles, make no doubt about it. There have been battles in the past, like where things have not worked out smoothly, or anything else that probably have to be worked out now to bring in more happiness and joy and abundance in the home. This is the 10 of Cups. So we're getting past, there are new things coming in here to get us past the past battles and struggles, to bring in more happiness and everything else. And are you ready for this? And it's time to step out there and expand your world. So now, as the Emperor and with the new things coming in, the advice here is really to get on back out there. Like, you have the world in your hands, and with your work, with your projects, set your sights out there again. How can you expand on your projects? How can you expand on your work? But there is a lot about getting past and bringing in, this is a great card to get, of love, happiness, abundance in the home. And you can get that from the card. You can look in the book, but you can actually by heart know what that feels like, right? Where everything is coming in and there are wonderful things coming in here. And it's time to set your sights and go even farther. So that would be a quick reading. And you could do readings for any which way. Like, you can get a reading, what do I need to know right now? What do you want to bring forth for the week? What do you want to bring forth for the month? And you can do all that. Another thing I also said, if you wanted to test your tarot readings for accuracy, I used to always do a weekly or a monthly, and then I would look up a trusted astrologer or a horoscope or something like that, and I would see that it ties into what I just did for my weekly or monthly. That was a little tip I learned decades ago that I used to test myself. But however you read cards, so this was just a quick example how the majors tie in. So this is the major. So this is like what you should embody. This is the divine major aspect of be that in control. Take control of the things that you can control. Be orderly. Be in your strength. The Emperor is all about that, like control and order and everything else. So that's going to serve you very well. So that's a major theme. And then these are the details where you're definitely bringing in more happiness and you're in expansion mode on these new things coming in the physical. These all read like a story, right? And so you could do a free form spread, which is kind of what I did, or you can go into guidebooks and go and do different spreads that they suggest and everything else. But you can read cards however you want. And that there's a freedom in that. I call it like free form kind of readings that I do. You can incorporate oracle cards into this as well. You can clarify and confirm with an additional tarot deck. You can feel free to read tarot and do your readings however you want. There's a great freedom in that. But what I wanted to say was to learn the meanings by heart is a very way that, you know, really that you can take every meaning and every card to heart, learn it by heart, quite literally, that you've lived every card, and then it brings so much more to your readings. And it's very easy also to learn all the meanings when you're not intimidated that there's 78 separate cards. No, it all makes sense. You've lived every card in the tarot. The majors are the major themes. The minors are, you know, what I had said, the Pentacles, the Cups, the Swords, and the Wands. They're all aspects of your life. And so once you attribute all of that and work with the cards, it becomes a second language. It becomes a rapport. And just like with any rapport, make sure you get decks like that you resonate with. Now, tarot decks can come like this. This is no borders. It doesn't have, if you're just starting out, you might want to have it more clearly what the card is. You can feel guided to whatever tarot deck artwork you like. Once you know the cards of any tarot deck, you can get any tarot deck whatsoever, which is why you see people collecting a lot of tarot decks, because it's just the difference of images and artwork across the deck. So whatever tarot deck you learn with, you can then take it to any other deck. So, but I just wanted to show you another tip about learning tarot by heart, because I feel like at the heart of it, that's it, because it's so much easier when you take it to heart. I wish you the best with all your tarot and your tarot readings and learning the meanings and just enjoying the absolute journey. Like the Fool, the absolute journey. It's going to bring you so much love and happiness, and it's so beautiful. It's such a wonderful thing. So I hope this helps, and take care. Bye-bye.